hillbilly music, and I'm talking with the man Nick motherfucking Shoulders. Nick, how
That's
are you?
Can't complain so far. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you holding up during all this stuff?
I'm having a lot of fun, to be honest. Well, I mean, a lot of fun's maybe not the right word. I'm having enough fun. I'm having the amount of fun that's appropriate for the gravity and isolation of the thing. But I'm up on a mountain in Newton County, Arkansas, out in the middle of nowhere, as you're very well familiar with. I think this county has one stoplight, if that's what the legend says. But yeah, it's been great. I've just been kind of doing naturey things and walking back roads with my dog and girlfriend and laying low.
Yeah, now's a good time to be in the middle of nowhere. That's for sure. I'm
Yeah,
in the
feeling
same
it.
boat. I saw you were living in New Orleans at the time. Did you just go up to Arkansas to kind of get away from everything while all this was going on?
Yeah, I've got my lung collapsed twice when I was younger, and I've also I kind of feel indebted to New Orleans for taking a lot of transplants in from various walks of life, and I couldn't be the one to be taken to like hospital bed from a ninth ward granny or bread out of anyone's mouth. So I got kind of flipped out by what I knew about what happened to that place during Katrina and everything. And I think I just made a preliminary decision. I hope the best for everybody down there, all my friends. I'm thinking it's all going to be all right, but it definitely gave me the creeps, and I thought the smartest decision was to come up and write it out where I wasn't going to be depleting any resources from anyone that actually needed them, because New Orleans is getting run over. I'm sure you've been reading the news, but we've just got a month of food and a bunch of bullshit to keep us happy, and we're just keeping ourselves sane as we can.
I understand that, man. Well, hell, how would you like to play a song for us so the people know what you're all about?
I don't. Oh, if you insist. Yeah. What do you think I do? Let's do a ripping number or a slower number. What do you feel?
Shoot, I'll listen to anything you play, son.
All right. Well, let's do the one that's on the World Wide Web right now. Rather low. Well, my eyes adjust, my joints are rusty, sheets are off the cold and dusty road. Folks, I must have been another night I've been. Kick rock, slept and talked, fool, a levy walks the couch, she's my kingdom and nice, so there's bugs in my head. Six sacks empty, into penny, saved a penny, sent to sleep at the wheel, she beats me awake in my bed. Last bottle feels small, dread the sight of alcohol, and don't know where this train stops, but I want off. Been rather low, out here together. I reckon that we'll keep trying if rock bottom it never shows. Yeah, I love crazy stormy weather. I ain't welcome at home, but I don't know about you. Double takes and double stops, a double dare you. Call the cops, so diver I stand to fire wagon wheel again. 40 days of foggy nights with the by the city lights. I don't remember accidental cracks being part of the deal. Told you once, told you twice, I'm steeped in verse and curse and vice. I traded my 40 acres for a mountain of pain. Hot damn, hamstand, blinded in the promised land. Don't mind if I do declare where it's good accent. Been rather low, out here together. Reckon that we'll keep trying if rock bottom it never shows. And I love there's a stormy weather. I ain't welcome at home, I don't know about you. home. I don't know about.
Well, hot damn, man, that was beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, the audio was a little fucked, and I wish everybody definitely go check that song out online because that is an amazing song, man. I really love your songwriting style and your goddamn yodeling, whistling machine, man. I really can't believe what you're capable of doing.
Oh, thanks, dude. I honestly, I just don't know any better. This is the stuff I came up with being a bored kid in the woods, like a lot of bored kids in the woods, and I just happened to sort of apply that skill set to weird old country music, and this is what you get out of it. But thanks for enjoying it. I really I'm I'm confounded as to why I didn't start doing this sooner. I probably should have started writing grandpa songs and doing what I was actually qualified to all those years. I was yelling in punk rock bands. Or you mentioned Muddy Roots when we were talking earlier. I played with a couple bands at that festival back in the day, but I wasn't doing this music or anything.
Yeah, Muddy is a great time. I love that festival.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's a real blast. I was in County Graves and Sean James band briefly, or every once in a while, whenever I got picked out to do it, and that was always fun to go out there.
Right on. So you only have the two albums out under your name. You got what do you got? Lonely Like Me. That was released 2 years ago, 2018, and OK Crawdad.
Yeah, they're. I kind of was more of a backing player up until this. I had a bunch of rowdy thrash bands and played drums in a million, annoying, pissed off bands. And then just recently, last like 5 years or so, started living in my van out west, not living in Arkansas for once, and got kind of into this style of traditional country and the source material of traditional country, the real old kind of warbly hillbilly stuff, and realized that my family had a bunch of singers in it that all sort of also emulated that style. So I kind of started listening more and forming this vocal sound that was more like what I grew up with and was used to doing. And just really last 3 years, I started writing these songs, picked up a guitar and tuned it into standard for once, and yeah, I've really been shocked and really humbled by the positivity, the reception to all the stuff I've been trying to do. But basically, just yeah, kind of went down to New Orleans and formed a band. And 3 months later, after we formed the band, we cut "Lonely Like Me," and it sounds like it. It sounds like a 3-month-old band making that record. And then gave it a year, and then did OK Crawdad, and we recorded that last May and just put it out in December. So it's pretty fresh, and I'd say it's the most accurate representation of what we're doing down there in New Orleans.
Yeah, you did both those down at Mashed Potato, right?
We did
Recorded
"Lonely
both
Like Me"
those.
at Mashed Potato, and then we did OK Crawdad with my friend Ross Farb, who's also got a really cool band called Video Age, and that's like some really sick New Orleans like pop synth stuff. It's chill. It's really fun music. But
Yeah,
he
what?
also had he's got like a tape recording setup a lot like Mashed Potatoes, so it was the same kind of deal, like recording on a reel to reel with just like a couple mics live in a room,
Okay.
but a little more controlled sound. But both of those records are cut totally live, apart from a few little tweaks and harmonies here and there.
Well, how'd you end up down in New Orleans? What originally took you down there?
Well, like I said, I spent the vast majority of my life in Arkansas, and then I bought a van and built a little like mobile home, solar powered bunk in it, and got my 130-pound dog and lived out west for a minute. And I was busking out there and bopping around, and I started kind of interacting with this national scene of so it's sort of reform punks and weirdos and traveling people that are really like taking a hard look at American traditional music and doing it really well and doing it right and kind of honoring the source material more stringently. And I saw that kind of the confluence of this national weirdo scene was in New Orleans. Like I felt like that really was the heart of it. And
Oh, for sure.
I interacted with a few folks who were on tour out of New Orleans when I was living out there, and I was just like, man, I did that when I was young. Arkansas and New Orleans or in Louisiana are neighbors, obviously. I mean, well, a lot of people think Arkansas is in the Dakotas for some reason. I'll never forgive geographic ignorance on that front. But either way, I spent that time out west, and then was back in Little Rock living at my grandma's, and got invited to go on tour with Chris Acker. And so I hopped on that and played drums and got introduced to a lot of folks down there. I figured all the slow circles I'd be doing, playing Black Pot Festival in Lafayette, and going down and doing that tour with Chris. I was like, it's time. I shouldn't just be living at grandma's forever. I think I should give New Orleans a shot. And that was fall of 2017, and then we recorded Lonely Like Me in the spring, and it's just been up and up since. I can't stress how good the company I keep is there in terms of talent. There are some really incredibly talented folks down there.
Yeah, I used to live down there in on Claiborne Street in the Eighth Ward, just a few blocks from Hanks. And
Oh,
that's
nice.
actually, I was searching through YouTube and I came across, I think the first video I saw of yours was the Hanks checkout line. And I was like, well, I gotta see what this is about. And it was great. It was definitely a funnier song of yours, I think. But like, I loved it immediately. And I've had you in my Spotify for about the last month just on shuffle. But I also really liked Bound and Determined. That song really stuck with me. Just I'm guessing that's kind of about climate change and just the simplicity with the way you worded it. Just really blew me away. That was a really powerful song, man.
Well, thanks. I'm very proud of that song, and I kind of let that one speak for itself as often as possible. But really, I care about country music because I care about the social political context that gave birth to country music. I'm kind of from a natural science history background. I grew up a nature nerd, and I grew up on property that bore scars of the Civil War, just like a lot of people did. And I think that you can boil music down any which way you want, but really, country music is not from the country; it's from the South, and the South has got a very tortured history. I think it's worth confronting, and I think that's part of what Bound and Determined is meant to do. Is meant to sort of confront that identity and say, like, the door is open for you, as the chorus says. I welcome anybody back to a side of compassion and empathy, because the other thing is just obviously not working.
Sure, absolutely. I read an article too. I think was it you that wrote this article that I came across when I was researching you? I can't remember the magazine it was in. It was something Times, but
Yeah,
it was
in these times, I just
in these times.
in these times,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a recent thing. I've never been a published author since high school literary magazine, so I was pretty honored by that situation.
honestly, man, I read that article and you just really said, I think, what a lot of us, want to say just about the complete bastardization of country music and what's happened to it, and the roots in general, and where they can be traced back to. And I thought it was a really great article. I'll also put that in a link if anyone's interested in reading it. But yeah, man, I'm really excited about talking to you, and I really appreciate it. What do you got? I mean, were you working on anything before the COVID-19 on a new album, or you got anything in the works right now?
Oh, buddy, yeah. I mean, I was fully in some cool things were happening in terms of like moving music along, and I had tours booked. Like I would have been coming back, I think, tonight from a 10-day tour, and I'm always writing stuff, but this has definitely given me more time to do so. It's been a wild ride for everybody, obviously, but I'm just kind of assuming that by midsummer I'll be able to do what I do again and work. But when the shows shut down in New Orleans and things were looking kind of grim, my first thought was like I could either stay here and sweat and potentially have to really deal with some weird stuff, or I could head up to the mountains with my dog and girlfriend and write songs and bake some bread and try and shoot squirrels or whatever, and just take it easy. So I've been really relishing this time, but yeah, I'm thinking about the world after, because the normal we were dealing with was like pretty bogus. So I'm down for something new. This is
I
basically us.
understand, man. It's it's definitely been strange for everybody, but I think you made the right decision.
Yeah, I'm just like I said, pulling for everybody that's still down there, because I don't assume that it's going to get weird, but it's like history's proven that place doesn't really handle disasters well, and I'd just rather rather leave it up to people that are from there and need the resources to take part in that. Because, like I said, if my lung had a bad day, it just would be a stupid time to be in New Orleans.
Absolutely. We need to keep you around for a little bit longer.
Yeah, let's hope so. Yeah.
All right. Well, it was really good talking to you, Nick. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
No, thank you. I've been really stoked. People are reaching out and enjoying the album. It's been a long road of weird hard work to get it out in people's ears. So I'm very flattered and just grateful that this is helping folks. I've been hearing that a lot, and that really means a lot.
For sure. If you come through Tennessee, holler at me, man. I'll definitely be able to get you some shows. I mean, not that you have any problem doing that, but either way, we should get together.
I'm glad. It's a weird time for to be getting a little more attention for music stuff, since obviously there's no shows been getting booked. But you'd be surprised. I could definitely use the help. I'll be hollering at you sooner than you know.
Right on, man. Well, I think we'll ride this shit out. I think the majority will probably be all right. You know, it's a little weird right now, but I think we'll figure it out.
I have faith. I truly do.
Right on. All right, man. Well, I'll let you go, and thanks again.
Thank you. Were we doing an outro song, or you think we're good there?
Absolutely. Go ahead and play us one.
Okay, shit. You want that Henry's? You want that Eighth Ward fried chicken delight?
That sounds great. Hey, would you want to try? Do you have me on speakerphone right now? Would you want to try switching it just to your regular phone? That might make the sound a little bit better.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. All right, here we go. Well, some would try to claim that hard living ain't hardly alive. Some would fantasize and fantasize about curating ideal strife. But there's a place out there where all that is supposed to go, and it glows with a light above and a fire below. So pull a chair up against the cold. Your dreams like mine are bought and sold. There's no expiration date on original sin. So keep on self-improving. Swear to God that I'll be fine. Judge me at the pearly gates, not in the Hank's checkout line. Judge me at the pearly gates, not in the Hank's checkout line. Well, to the masses, the bread and fish are multiplied, and forbidden fruit can be tasted in a discount price. Well, you can juice cleanse your conscience. I can't watch unbelief on my soul. You'll settle down, stay in town. I swear you never had. And we're back.
I gotta go get me a 2-piece for 99 cents at some point.
I think I need that too. But I think we both need that more than we could possibly communicate to the audience that doesn't know.
Right on, man. I really appreciate you, brother. It's really good talking to you. Fucking be safe, and yeah, hopefully we'll get together and do it in person sometime.
I'd love that. I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thanks for reaching out.
No problem. We'll talk to you later, brother.
Sounds good.
All right, bye.
Take care.